So I'm back trying to play another session of OSE in the Shadow of Tower Silveraxe. Going to pick it up where I left off. Off screen I did some bookkeeping. I totaled the XP. The party's XP for this leg of the adventure was 6,063, divided amongst 5 characters. I know it's 6 characters, technically 4 principal characters and 2 retainers. The 2 retainers are each receiving a half share of XP. That's the way I decided to do it. So a half share means that's a whole share, so I divide this by 5 and then divide that in half for their half share. So dividing it by 5, each character should get, where did I put it? Each character should get a total of, where's the roster? 1,213, and a half share of that. It's half of that, but each of the characters received a little more because they all have prerequisite bonuses, 5% or 10%. They received a little bit more. Alright, so picking up where we left off, they were at Farmer Taggart's, and they were taking a couple days to heal up. And, it's just sitting with the party, that room that they couldn't get to. So what they're going to try is they're just going to borrow an axe from the farmer and use their sledgehammers and just beat the door down and go in. If it makes a lot of noise or attracts monsters, they'll fight it. And they just hope it's worth their time going back in. So he lends them an axe. Actually, they buy it from him. They have a proper wood cutting axe. I'll add that to their list. Wood axe. And they are headed to Amethyst Lake one more time, borrowing his boat. So they borrow his boat. We'll do a monster check. No wandering monster. And so they are back in. Oh, one other thing they borrowed from the farmer, or they bought from him, were a few fire logs, like 3 or 4 fire logs, to give to the wood termites, the water termites, so they can bypass them again. Alright, when they get in there, the wood termites do notice them. They throw a bunch of firewood to the wood termites. They eat that up and are happy to see the adventurers again and leave them alone. The adventurers know where they are and don't expect traps, so they're moving kind of briskly. There is a wandering monster encountered, though. D4 for this map. It's going to be 1 D4 crab spider. 3 crab spiders. Alright. So let's check for surprise. White are our heroes, black are our black hats. Okay, neither is surprised. Let's do initiative. The villains are going first. How far away are they? In the dungeon, the encounter distance is 2d6 times 10. 50 feet. Okay. 50 feet. So where were they likely encountered? Probably in that main room down here. So we've got an octagonal room. It's about 40 feet long. We're just going to use this for the sake of convenience. The stairs going down. There's a pool of water. In the room. And there are 3 spiders. Crab spiders. Okay, so there are some crab spiders, like I said. Gotta look up the stats real quick. Spider giant. Oh, not under spider. It's up under crab. Not under crab either. I wonder if it's in this booklet. Maybe I missed it. I don't see them. Maybe I missed it in here. One more time. Oh, they were under spider. Right there. Crab spider, 5 feet long hunting spiders that can change their color to match their surroundings. 2 hit die, about 9 hit points each. Bite plus poison. Oh, they surprise on a 1 to 4. Due to their camouflage. I don't remember what I rolled, because it wasn't a 1. I don't think it was under 4. They can cling, they can walk on walls and ceilings. They can cause death, the poison, in 1d4 turns. However, save versus poison was with a bonus of +4. So let's redo that. Surprise roll. Just in case, but it's 1 less because of the ranger. So they're fine. Okay. And I'm going to assume they're on the ceiling and that they were waiting for somebody to come back in. Okay, the group's walking in, but they were alerted to the presence of the spiders. They saw them, and now we've got this issue. And of course, to get to the locked room, which is down this way, they have to deal with these spiders. So they're going to fan out from the steps and try to take a shot at them using their bows or magic. Actually, the mage will not go for the magic user. She will try to do her sleep. The boys come down and they're going to shoot their bows. The cleric will protect the magic user. Okay. So these spiders are going first, and their movement is 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to wait until the spiders go? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing. Ranger comes down. The thief comes down. The boys come down. So does the ranger. And that's all they could do is move this turn. Actually, they wouldn't. They'd probably just stay here. But too late. I have already acted. Alright, so first things first is going to see if the magic user can knock them all out with sleep. She'd have to roll 6 or higher. She rolls 5, so 2 of them are knocked out. This one's still up. The ranger is going to try to put it down. 15 plus his strength. That should do it. Let's check. Schroeder's strength is +2, so he's hitting a 17 armor class. The spiders have a 12 armor class, so it does hit, and he's using a longsword +2 for his strength. 8 plus 2 is 10. The spider should have 9 hit points. It's 10. Alright, that was an easy encounter, but dangerous with the poison. So they finish off the other spiders. Crisis averted. And the magician's is down 1 sleep for the day. I'll record that before I forget. Alright, down to sleep. Alright, so the group gathers around with the cleric and actually the elf and the ranger taking turns with the sledgehammers and the axe to beat the door down. And we will check if this attracts any monsters. I'm going to increase the random encounter check from 1 to 2. There's another wandering monster. But they did get the door down. A 2 is 1d10 sturges. 9 sturges come out. So you know what I'm going to do is these are the same set of sturges that were by the statue that they bypassed in the previous their time visiting the cave. So from here, a bunch of sturges are going to come pouring in through this room to attack them while they're at the door. One thing that they will do is we have to check for surprise. Alright, so I don't think the sturges can be surprised, just the party. Party is not surprised. So the sturges come pouring in, all 9 of them. Let's roll initiative. Party goes first. There's a big stack of them. They can be all on top of each other because they're flying bugs that are small. So there's 9 of them there. Alright. So of course the party goes first, and the mage has 1 sleep left. So she is going to burn that and hope for a high roll so the party can deal with the rest. 3. Oh, that's not so good. So only 3 of them are out. Meaning there's 6 more to contend with. Alright, the mage has gone, the magic user. So now we've got the other group members. These guys just have swords in hands. And he's got a lantern on the floor. He's got a torch in hand. and a sword in his other, so he's not using a shield at the moment. What the the thief is going to do, he's going to shoot his bow at one of them. Short bow. 13. Sturge's AC is 12. That'll hit. 6 damage. We'll take it out. It only has 4 hit points. Alright, so let me do this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, we're out. Number 4 is dead from an arrow shot, leaving the other 5 left. Okay. The ranger, he drops his sledgehammer, switches to his bow and arrow, and fires off a shot at one of the Sturges. 10 plus his dex of 1 is an 11. That's not enough to hit the Sturge's AC of 12. Okay. He is going to ready his Warhammer, and he's going to, I'm going to say, delay his action, same as the boys, just in case one of these creatures goes to attack him. He'll attack. Okay. So the monsters come down and disperse. The boys are ready. They swing. And both hit. Wow, great. Swords. 2 and 3. So this one's down to 2 hit points out of its 4. This one is down to 1 of its hit points. Okay, nice job, Sid and Nick. Okay, the cleric misses. The ranger shot an arrow, and the thief shot an arrow. So they can't do anything. Alright, the 2 Sturges on the boys. They're both getting hit. Okay, because their AC is 16, but so they got hit. Alright. The Sturges do how much damage? D3 plus blood sucking. Alright. Sid takes 3. Nick takes 1. And how's the blood sucking rules work? Upon a successful attack, it attaches and drains victim's blood. 1d3 automatic damage per round. Okay. So I guess it's immediate. 2. And 2. Alright, down to 6 and 4 hit points respectively. Nick has 6, Sid has 4. Oh man, that's not good for the boys. Alright, and now let's see. Number 7 was going to go for the magician, but the cleric Torgar swung his hammer at it. So 12 should be 1, right? 13. So his AC is 17, won't hit. Alright, the one on the ranger misses. AC is too high. And the one on the rogue will hit. The thief. Vopin. Alright, 1d3, 1. 1d3, 1 more. Blood sucking. So Vopin is down from 8 to 6. forgot to increase everybody's hit points back up from the last adventure. I fixed it. Okay. Top of the order then. So initiative. Heroes going first. Okay. So Sid is trying to stab at this thing, so is Nick. So we'll do Sid first. Misses. Nick misses. Alright, Torgar steps in to help. Nick hits and does 4 damage, killing the wounded Sturge. Squish. Okay, Nick saved. Okay. The elf is going after the one in front of her with her longsword. Misses. Our ranger drops his bow, pulls out his sword and swings at number 8. And her 13 will hit. D8. 2 damage. It's still alive. 2 hit points. And the thief drops his bow and pulls out his sword and swings at number 9. Hits. 6 damage. Number 9 is dead. And this one automatically drains his blood. D3. 2 more for Sid. Sid is down to 2 hit points. However, this would be a good time for the Sturges to make a morale check at the start of combat. Alright, heroes go first. The monsters, if they get a 9 or less, they will stay in the fight. That's their morale. 3, they'll stay. Alright, so next comes, should be the onslaught. Alright, Sid stabs back, hits, and kills the Sturge on him, thankfully, before it could suck him dry. Alright, Torgar is hitting the one over here, misses. The elf hitting the same one, misses. Froder is going after his. Ooh, that one misses. And our thief misses that well. Oof, that was terrible. But at least our retainer won't die. Alright, so these ones are striking the heroes. Number 7 on the elf. Misses. 8 on him. Should be 15, but Froder's AC 16. Misses. And the last one on our thief. Hits. Okay, does 2 damage. And 1 sucking. So a total of 3 on our thief, who's down to 3 hit points now. Tough to be a thief. Let's start a new round. Bad guy's going first. Okay. On the rogue. Oh, he doesn't even need to because he's just sucking automatically. So, oh, 3. Vulcan is down exactly at 0. So, yes, in normal OSE rules, that's character death. I don't want to have to make another thief that'll make the same thief again. So I'm going to allow, it wasn't like, over damage, a bunch of hugely into the negatives, or devoured or something. I'm going to allow that if Torgar can get over there and heal him, he'll be alright. So Torgar is going to head over there. It does moving away from this creature is going to allow that creature to have a free attack on him. If the creature gets a net 1, so no worries there. But the creature still gets its normal attack on the elf. Misses. And The other one on Froder misses. Alright, the heroes get to go. He already moved, but he can't move and cast, so he's got to wait while our thief is down. Froder is hitting this one. Hits on a 13. Kills it. The injured one is dead. The elf hits hers. Kills it. One hit. And this thing is still attached, so he did move, and he is going to take a swing at it. Misses. Alright. It's the last one. We'll do morale. It sticks around. We'll do initiative. It's going first. It's still got its proboscis digging into this our Vopin. It's trying to suck him more into the negatives if we were counting those, but the X doesn't do that. So now, I guess we'll go with the group is going to gather around and kill this Sturge. Everybody's going to take a whack at it. Alright, first things first is he is going to take the turn to heal. That's a d6 plus 1. 5 hit points back to Vopin. He is from 0 to 5, but he is injured. Okay. And number 9 here. The 9th Sturge Froder is going to hit. Misses. Nick tries to hit. Misses. The elf. 10 plus 1 misses. Wow, everybody missed. I think he can't. He'll try to walk around, but he's got to wait till next round to get in there. Top of the order. Creature goes. Its proboscis is still in Vopin, so it's going to do 3 more damage to Vopin, who is healed and is still being bled dry. He's at 2 hit points. Let's hope this is not a goofy miss again for everybody. Alright, here goes Torgar. He misses. Froder. He hits. Barely. Good grief. It's being a comedy of errors. Kills it right out, finally. Okay. So they did use one. Torgar did use one of his cure lights. He will use another right now. Back on Vopin. So he's out. 4 points to Vopin. He's now at 6. 6 hit points. Everybody else is SOL. For the cure lights, they'll have to break out their healing potions. They have 1 per primary character, you know, the 4 in the party. They're going to hopefully make it back to the ranch and heal up. But now they've busted down the door. They're going to get back in marching order and see what's in there. Alright, what is in this room? It is a few dusty clay pots. So they're underwhelmed at first. However, in the dusty clay pots, one of them, there is a potion of healing. And also in this room behind one of the clay pots is a 2-handed sword. And it's a +1. But they won't find that out until they try it out or have it identified back in town. Alright, so that may or may not have been worth it. Well, the 2-handed +1 is very nice. So. Alright, so we will add +1 two-handed sword. Alright. Certainly would have helped on some of these hits, though. We might give that to the elf. She'll no longer have the shield. But she can cast with her empty hand and just hold the sword down and not use it unless she's not casting. That might work for her. Alright. They also killed 9 of these Sturges. They put to death the other ones. So let's go ahead and total up the XP real quick. 9 times 13 is 117. Okay. And 3 of those spider crabs. How much XP do they have? Crab spiders, 25 times 30, 75. Alright, now they leave. There should be 1 monster check, no monster check, 1 on the way back to the ranch, no monsters. They make it successfully back to the ranch to spend a couple more days on the ranch to heal up, and they do that. So they spend a couple days, they heal up, they try out some of these weapons, and now they are headed back to town more than likely. So let me grab my calendar. Where did I put the calendar? Here it is. Alright. They spend 2 days healing up, and they spend a day's travel going back. Are there any wandering monsters? Nope, not in the travels back. So they make it back to town on the 8th day of this first spring month. The first thing they do, they roll in that afternoon with their troll skull that's been pitched, and they politely request a bounty. And I'm double checking the amount. Thought it was 500. The guards in town will pay a bounty on troll heads. It doesn't say the amount. Okay. So, how much would a troll head be worth? It's crazy that the farmer would pay 2,000 for it. 500 seems like a lot to me for a single troll. 100 seems a little low for a troll, so split the difference there and give 250 to the party. Alright. 250 GP. Troll skull. Troll head bounty. I have to delete that item from party's inventory. Alright. While in town, they speak to the Lady Sage there in hopes that she can identify the items. Miria is the mage in town. She's looking to hire the adventurers from errands involving gems of some such. So she says that she will charge 100 gold. Well, here's the thing. In old school essentials, there is no identify spell. So, in BX D&D, even in BECME D&D, there's no identify spell as far as I know. So instead, it just suggests that characters try out magic items to see if they're magical or not. And it also suggests that you can give them to retainers to try out, or that you get a powerful NPC to identify them for you, but there's no rules for this. It says sometimes it can take like days or weeks. So I would just rather borrow the identify spell from AD&D, and I'm not sure, because like AD&D has a full system for getting somebody to cast a spell for you and how much it costs and stuff like that. Because in AD&D first edition, in order to cast identify, you have to have 100 gold piece pearl, like a large pearl that's worth 100 gold pieces. So, and then pay the price to have somebody cast it for you. So it's just usually best if somebody in the party, a magic user, learns the identify spell, if you can get somebody to teach it to you, because again, there's a lot of profiteering in that. So instead, all I'm going to do is that she'll identify an item for them, one item at a time, but it's going to be 200 gold pieces each item to identify it. So that's what she says. They have 3 magic items that they want identified, and so she says that to come back tomorrow and she'll have these identified for them. And so they stay in town at the local tavern. They resupply their rations to get another week's worth of rations, which brings them down 30 gold pieces for the 6 group members. In addition, they have to spend a night in the Traveler's Inn. Let's see. Does it talk about a cost here? It does not. So is there a cost in a PHP for a hotel? An inn. Don't see it. Grab. Alright, so we've got some other options just in case that the OSE didn't have it. So, or I didn't find it anyways. Trying to see if they have a suggestion on the cost for an inn, night at an inn. I don't see it in the rule cyclopedia, or it just might not be where I'm looking under equipment. Where would it be though if it wasn't under equipment? Equipment not listed, page 147. Let's see. Okay. okay, that's something else entirely. Not seeing it. Maybe Basic Fantasy has a suggestion. I'm being pedantic and silly and wasting time. This is the kind of thing my players would ask. And normally I'd have an answer. So let's see if there's services and this equipment emporium. Let's see. Services, here we go. Rooms. Inn, lodging. Per day, it's for a common lodging is 5 silver pieces, and for a private room it's 2. So they put the boys in the common room for 1 gold piece, and everybody else gets a private room. And they're just going to go ahead and take a week in town. So 6 gold pieces, and then 4 times 8 is 32 plus 6 is 38 gold pieces. Okay, look at that. That was helpful. Thank you, Basic Fantasy. 38 gold pieces. Okay, so they go back to the magic user in town, Miria, and she has their 3 items identified. We've got our Helm of Telepathy, our Leather +1, and our 2-handed sword. So Vopin the Thief is now up to AC 14. So he's got a +1 leather. Cool. The elf, Adma, has traded in her sword for a +1 2-handed sword. And she's giving up her shield. This will push her AC down to 15. +2 when she swings it. How much does a 2-handed sword do for damage? 1d10. So 1d10 plus 2, 1 from strength, 1 from the increase. But this is also slow, so she'll be going last. What else? Helm of Telepathy. Who gets that? What's that do in this game? Treasure. Helm of Telepathy. Beautifully crafted helmet that grants the magical ability of telepathy, reading and sending thoughts. The range is 90 feet. It requires concentration. To read a creature's thoughts, the wearer must remain still and concentrate on that creature. Comprehension. The creature's thoughts are made comprehensible to the wearer of the helm. Bidirectional communication. The wearer may initiate bidirectional telepathic communication, though the creature is not compelled to respond. Alright. Let's give this to Torgar, our cleric. Helm of Telepathy. This is on page 174 of the referee's book of the Advanced Fantasy version. Okay. Cool. So we did the paperwork. They spend a week in town. So we're going to skip down. On the morning of the 15th day, they leave. And what they're going to do is they've been planning over the last few days, finding out rumors, finding things out, asking around town. They even bought a map. I'm going to say that the map cost them 100 gold pieces. And they're also going to see if somebody in town could get them some healing potions. So I'm going to say there's a 50-50 chance that somebody has healing potions in town. 50% of the chance or less. 50 to 1, no. Nobody in town has healing potions. Alright, so from there, what they're going to set out to do is looking over that treasure map they found in the previous dungeon. They've been asking around town about it to see if they can find out where this is. Far south in Torthen's Hall. Look for a massive sinkhole. So looking on the map, they ask where that is, and they're pointed to the southwest corner of the map. So somewhere over here, Torthen's Hall, south of it. They're thinking it's somewhere in this spot of the map. So they plan on leaving Karn Boldar and taking a few days' travel on the road south of the Labyrinth of Shadows Forest and go across the land to hopefully find this dungeon and its treasures. So it's going to be some overland trail for a few days. So let's see how much this is going to take them in time. Alright, so I'm just going to tally up the road, because there is a passageway. 5, 4, 4, 2, 8, 6, 5, 11.2, 14, 4, and 2.5. So this is the miles. We can split it up and see how long it will take them. 0.4 plus 4.2 plus 8.6 plus 5 plus 11.2 plus 14 plus 4 plus 2.5 equals 54.9 miles, or just 55 miles. Okay, so it's going to take 55 miles. They've got a lot of coin, though. So what they could do is get some horses while they're in town. Or at least ponies. They could go back to the ranch and see if he has any horses. He likely does. Not just, cattle. Equipment. It's not under equipment. Let's see if it's under vehicle and animals. Alright. A horse. A draft horse is 40. A riding horse is 75. A war horse is 250. Let's get a riding horse. Let's get 6 riding horses. 6 riding horses at 75. Do they have 6 riding horses in town? Or out of town? 50% or less? They do. They don't. Okay. Is it because they have fewer than 6? 50% or less on this one? No. They just don't have horses. Okay. So, is it because they have ponies? Do they just have ponies because they're dwarves? 50% or less. They have some ponies. Do they have 6 of them? Say, this is likely, so 70% or less. No, they don't have 6. So let's roll how many they do have. We roll on 6. They've got 1 freaking pony. So they are hoofing it without hoofs. So they're going to have to walk. Okay. So they are going to walk this 55 miles. And of course, using the encounter rules, or the travel rules, the overland travel, their movement rate, if we want to be dicks and apply the armor rules, they're going to be going really slowly. If we want to be realistic, they take the armor off. But how many player characters actually do that? Because they don't have time to put the armor on when Wandering Monster happens. Okay, so let's look at... so we just gotta fudge reality a little bit on that one. Where are the movement rates? Movement rate. There it is. But where is it when it's adventuring rolls? Movement. Because technically they are heavily armored, which means their base movement would be 60 feet and counter movement 20, which means they'd only make 12 miles a day. We're just going to say that they are lightly armored, so their movement is instead base is 90 or 30 feet for an encounter, or 18 miles a day. So we will plan it for that. 18 divided by 55. 55 divided by 18 is... it's going to just take over 3 days to get there. Alright. So 3 days. Let's do 18 miles the first day. Wandering encounters. 3 checks. First one out, dang. So they're out on Karn Boldar, and they meet a wandering encounter. Alright, let's do D12. 8. Come up against 1d4 black bears. 3 black bears. So I'm assuming it's a mother and 2 cubs, more than likely. Okay. Let's look under the black bear stats. Bear, black. Okay. Alright, so I'm assuming, since it's more than likely neutral, but they're going to have to roll. So the ranger, let's see, what is the roll to try to get by this? Would be a monster reaction roll modified by his charisma +1. Alright, 2d6. 9 + 1 makes 10. It's indifferent and uninterested. So the party gives space to the bears. The bears give space to the party. They both walk away slowly, following the ranger's advice. They do not antagonize the bears. They give them the right way. The bears pass by. They pass by the bears okay. Cool. The rest of that day's travel. And at night. Alright, day 1. Uneventful other than those bears. Let's see if there's anything interesting on the map, though, for about a third of this trip. About a third of this trip takes them 9, somewhere along here. Okay. So nothing's marked on the map. They're just on the mountains, more or less. Okay. Day 16. Traveling. No wandering encounter in the morning. Alright. Second day's travel is uneventful. What's on the map? They're likely to come across whatever this landmark is. It says it's the statue. So let's look into that statue. Map legend. Statue. Beautiful large stone sculptures created by some ancient humanoid civilization. Is this one? This one should be on F8. So let's see if F8 has a statue mentioned. Alright, so I'm assuming it's just an ancient statue of the builders. So, uneventful other than it's giving them some clues to the setting and its peoples and its history. Okay, so day 2 is uneventful. Third, day 17. Another morning encounter. Man. Okay, let's roll what the random encounter is this morning. D12. 9. 3d10 antelope. 17. 21 antelope. Okay. So antelope are not predators. So instead, what the party is going to do is they're going to see if they can bag some food here. So, did they surprise each other? Party's white. Neither group is alerted. However, the antelopes pick up the scent of people and are trying to take off. Let's do the wilderness encounter range. The wilderness encounter range should be... What's the distance on this one? 46 times 10 yards. Alright. 5, 8, 80 yards. 80 yards times 3. No, yeah, 3 feet is 240 feet. So, they are far off when they decide to take flight. Just wondering with the bow whether they'll have a clean shot. Because the long range for this longbow in this game is 210 feet. So they're out of luck. Going to be too far out for a good clean shot. I think longbows, English longbows, do have more range than that, but it's alright for the game. Either way, there's probably trees and stuff. So, no threat, and they make it successfully to where they wanted to be. That night, they're camped outside of it. They found the sinkhole off in the distance, and they're going to camp a little ways off on a better campsite. They see the sinkhole far off. And they'll explore it in the morning. Okay, it's the morning. A trail leading south in Torthen's Hall eventually comes to a large clearing with a massive sinkhole, approximately 50 feet wide and some 30 feet deep. In daytime, vultures circle overhead. A foul stench emanates from the giant opening. Alright, so they tie off some ropes to some good, boulders nearby. They drop the rope down and they descend. They're in the first room. The sinkhole is roughly 30 feet deep, with rocky vertical walls on all sides. Scattered stone and boulders have collected at the bottom. At the south side, a cave opening can be seen. The rocks and rubble near the opening have been pushed to the side, creating a clear path to enter. Okay, they decide to search the room. They're wondering where the smell is, and they want to make sure there aren't any secret doors, that kind of stuff. So while they search, they find 2 arcane spell scrolls, floating disc, and ventriloquism. So I'm assuming she uses our mage here, Adma. She uses her free read magics to identify these scrolls. Scroll, floating disc, and ventriloquism. We'll probably use the house rule that you can cast a scroll into your grimoire, your spell book, so that way you can add it that way. And she'll try to hang on to these scrolls and not use them unless she has to. Alright, the party gets in marching order and they're moving forward. In the next room, the characters are carrying lights, so because of that, they can't really surprise creatures because they see the lights coming into darkness of the cave. So, well, is the party surprised? Only on a 1 thanks to the ranger. So no, party is not surprised. There are spitting cobras, though. They're near this rope bridge up ahead. Cave entrance quickly opens up to a much larger dark cavern. The cave floor drops 15 feet sheer past the entrance. Ahead, the rope bridge crosses a wide, seemingly bottomless chasm. Yeah. Past the bridge, there is a door at the end of the cavern. The rope bridge is very old, but looks fairly sturdy, and has been reinforced numerous times, look like. However, there is a chance for it to break. Alright, so the spitting cobras are going to have to be dealt with. The party encounters them how many feet away? Go ahead and do our dungeon encounter. 2d6 times 10 feet. 100 feet, thankfully. And we'll do initiative. Simultaneous. And what's happening is they're 100 feet away. So the party decides to shoot arrows at the 2 spitting cobras. So they all pull out bows and start plinking. 100 feet away. is going to be medium range for the bows. So this is a normal shot for him. Alright. The Ranger hits and does 5 damage, killing 1 Cobra outright. The next one is going to be, let's see who else. Our Elf misses. The Thief, open. I think he gets an 11. I think that's going to miss. Yeah, that misses. Nick, I think the boys have short bows. So for them, the range on this one will be medium as well. Exactly, 100 feet. Misses. The other boy hits and does 6, killing the other Cobra before they could get away. So there's 2 dead Cobras nearby. The other arrows went to the chasm. Alright. Curiosity, I wanted to see the XP on these guys. Gotta be under S for snake. Spitting Cobra's XP is 13 times 2 is 26. All right, moving along. Just got to roll to see if there's a break in the boards. Nope. It's a very sturdy bridge. Just thinking of that scene from Temple of Doom. Alright, they make it across successfully. They are back in marching order. They're walking carefully. They're trying to listen. And I'm just curious because looking ahead, the dungeon says there are ghouls here. Now, let's check for monsters. Of course there's wandering monsters. What is on the wandering monster list? 2. Oh, great. So there are additional ghouls. So once they walk into this long hall, there are multiple ghouls. This is bad. Okay. And I think I'm going to call it quits for the evening, because they open that door to a long hall reaching into a room and there are 8 ghouls in there. It's a good time to call it quits. Alright, good night.